What's up everyone? Welcome to Mr. Chen's video on factoring trinomials, this time when a is greater than 1. As you hopefully remember in the last video, a was set equal to 1. This time a is going to be greater than 1. And we want our final answer to look something like this right here, where we have numbers or integers substituted in for these question marks. Okay, so instead of working with variables a, b, and c, let's actually use real numbers right now. Okay, so here is our first example. Okay, our first example is factoring 6x squared minus 7x minus 5. And just like in the last example, I want you to distribute your answer in the end in order to check that we got the right answer. Okay, so just a heads up, a lot of what we're doing, at least the beginning part of factoring this, is going to resemble what we did in the past video. The only thing that's going to change is that in addition to what we previously did, we're going to use these, what I call the 3 R's, which is roll under, reduce, roll left. Okay, so once again, we start off the same way like we did in the previous video. In addition to that, we're going to add the 3 R's as steps. Okay, so instead of me just talking about this, let's actually do it and let me show you. Okay, so what we're going to do to start this off is multiply this 6 and negative 5. Okay, so 6 times negative 5 is going to give us a negative 30. Okay, and let me highlight that in yellow. Okay, so 6 times negative 5 gives us negative 30. And just like in the previous slide, this negative 7 is going to be placed at the bottom of the x. Okay. And once again, remember the top number is what we want to, we want two numbers to multiply to the top number, and we want two numbers to add up to the bottom number. Okay, so let me pause for around 3 seconds, and you feel free to hit the pause button on the video in order to give yourself more time. So hopefully you found that the two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add up to negative 7 are negative 10 and positive 3. Okay. If you look at me testing those two numbers out, negative 10 and positive 3, down here, negative 10 times positive 3 gives you negative 30. Negative 10 plus negative 10 plus 3 also gives you negative 7 on the bottom over here. So both of these numbers match, both the product and the sum match the product and the sum here in the x. So we know that negative 10 and 3 are the numbers. Okay, so this is where we start incorporating new steps. The 3 R's is what I call them. Okay, the first R is called roll under. Okay, so I'm going to take this 6. I'm going to take this 6 right here and roll that 6 underneath here. Okay, roll that 6 underneath here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and change this 6 right here to red so it matches the 6 that we rolled under. Okay, so now you can see that this 6 matches these 6. Okay, now I'm going to write these left and right terms from the x into parentheses right here. So we get x minus 10 over 6 and x plus 3 over 6. So just to be crystal clear on where those numbers came from, I'm going to highlight those in green. Okay, right there. All right, so the next step is the second R, which is reduce. We're going to reduce these fractions. Okay, so we're going to reduce these fractions, and we are going to get x minus 5 over 3, okay, and x plus 1 over 2. Okay, so again, here was step 1, here was step 2. Okay, now we are on the last, we're approaching the last step of the 3 R's. The last step is rolling left. we are going to take these numbers, 3 and 2, and roll them to the left. Okay? So watch what happens, okay, as I go right here. Ignore these red arches and the green arches right now, okay? So I'm going to roll this 3 to the left. I'm going to roll this 2 to the left, and I'm going to get 3x minus 5. Let me actually delete these arches. And we're going to get 2x plus 1. Okay? So hopefully you understand how I got this from rolling left. Okay, and that's step 3. Now, we want to check that this is the correct answer. As in the previous video, we are going to do a double-double distribution to make sure that we get the original problem right over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a double-double distribution. Okay, 3x times 2x, 3x times 1, negative 5 times 2x, and negative 5 times positive 1. Okay, so we're checking our answer at this point. So, hopefully you can see that the red strands from distribution becomes the red terms right here, and that the green strands from the distribution becomes these green terms right here. Okay, and we're almost done distributing. We can combine like terms right here. 3x minus 10x, that gives us negative 7x right over here. Okay, and as you can see now, this answer that we have matches the original problem. These two match. So we know that we got the right answer in factoring right over here. We know we factored the correct way because after doing a double-double distribution, this matches the original problem. Okay, so that wraps up factoring ax squared plus bx plus c when a is greater than 1. In the next video, we are going to learn how to factor special cases. Basically, I'm going to teach you shortcuts in certain scenarios where you can factor and save time. Okay? Thank you for watching.